Hi there. I want to do the ruler of books tag. For those who know me, I have my megalomaniac side, but I see myself more as a benevolent dictator. But that's how I see myself. I'm not entirely sure that is how other people see me, especially my children and my colleagues at work. But the book Rule of Books tag was started by Ariel Bissett almost a year and a half ago. She's provided the questions and I will answer them as best I can. The first one is, what book would you make everyone read? Narrowing it down to a single book I think is almost an impossibility. But if I had to narrow it down to 3 books, I would say... so I'm Light Years by James Salter, because there is no finer sentence maker in the world. And if we are really going to judge, to have a sort of objective metric or a bar of what is good writing, then James Salter's Light Year sets it. Plus it has my favourite paragraph of all writing, and I've spoken about this before. Second paragraph, chapter 2. But I would also have to go for Gilead by Marilyn Robinson. And yes, I've talked about this before, but I think no other novel has quite such depths of humanity in them. And if art is to make us better people, or if part of art, there's obviously some debate. George Steiner is very good on this. After the Second World War, he basically said, there were German officers who would spend their time at home listening to Bach, reading Goethe, and then go off to their job of work at Auschwitz. So art possibly doesn't have the kind of humanizing impact that we think it does, but if we are to believe that on some level it can do, and I think we must, then Gilead by Marilyn Robinson I think is the most humanizing work of fiction I can think of. And the third book, it would have to be something by Dostoyevsky. What would I abolish from book construction? Well, not quite construction, but I would get rid of all glitter and silver and gold stuff and probably fluorescent pink. But that's just me. What would you abolish? What author would you commission to write any book? Well, at the moment, providing that they would obviously have to be living at the moment if I was to commission them. Francis Spufford, whose not first novel Golden Hill is, I think, a masterpiece, but also his extraordinary non-fiction work means that he has a range of insight and kind of curiosity, which I think is remarkable. So he'd be a choice. I'll go with him. What book would you demote to the library basement to make room for new books? What book would I demote? Well, certainly the books I would get rid of out of bookshelves in bookshops is obviously the myriad editions of Harry Potter take up an enormous amount of space, and quite a lot of they can have one edition, but quite a lot of that could be given up to slightly more elevated writing, if you will. I would also, I'm afraid, have to get rid of quite a lot of the editions of Lord of the Ring and The Hobbit and that stuff, because, or at least I would have it relegated to the children's section. Quite why adults read these books, I do not know. The same goes for Harry Potter. So, there's a lot of space taken up in adult sections by children's books, and I'm fairly stern about this. As adults, let's read adult things. It's no good for us to remain as children. I know that's going to be unpopular. What cover artist would you commission to make a mural? All the best cover artists are now dead. And in the end, and I don't know. It's a tough one, really. And I'm quite frankly, I haven't researched enough, and so no names come to mind. But where is his? Sorry about this. Nope, can't find it and won't say. So, no answer to that question. What character's face would you put on a coin? It would have to be Bathsheba Everdeen from Far From the Madding Crowd. No, that's if I'm in my sort of softer, more romantic phase. But actually, if I'm going to be super stern and whatever, I would put on Raskolnikov's from Crime and Punishment. And by the way, can you hear my dog snoring? That's Wolfie, by the way, listen. Oh, he stopped. Wolfie? Wolfie? Wolfie woo? He really is very asleep. What book would you award the ruler of books to the 2000? Well, it was the 16 prize, that's last year, so I'm going to move to the 2017 prize. Now, of course, my novel, As a God Might Be, should rule all books of 2017. But that's just a shameless plug. I'm going to go with what I think is the most beautiful book of 2017, and it won't be a surprise to anybody, but I think there is something so profound and beautiful and exceptional and uplifting, but somehow deeply human at the same time, in Lincoln in the Bardo by George Saunders. It's just a truly beautiful and exceptional book. So that's my ruler of books, book of 2017. That's it. Just got an email from Caleb, another booktuber who seems to have slightly disappeared off the radar, so I'm glad he's back. But that's it. Thank you very much.